As most of you know, I'm Elliot. I've been active in the Zeitgeist movement for the last year. I've been heavily active in the Occupy movements for the last 6 months. A couple of you I met through Occupy, and what I'm going to be talking about here is the suppression of technology and a lot of the reasons why it's being suppressed, or why we need technology, and some of the big benefits that really come with it, whether it's helping out third world countries, or, a lot of different things all at once, kind of. So, in this day and age, we've developed beyond what we could have ever have imagined. Big time. We have the ability to talk from anywhere in the world, through the internet, through Skype, all kinds of different things here and there. Have a better understanding of the world around us and the universe around us through a lot of the science that's come out over the past, especially, a few hundred years. We also have the ability to make a lot of abundance many times over, whether it's some technology or even just, we have, even thousands of years ago when they developed the irrigation, or, a lot of that other stuff. We have so many ways to make abundance to try and feed the world's starving people. But at this point, we could be doing a lot more than just that, but the monetary system doesn't allow us to advance this to the fullest. And why is that? Because of profit and all the other things. When new advanced technology, pieces of technology usually come out, they usually come out in a very slow fashion. Sometimes they don't come out, as fast to the public or whatever as they should be. Since, like I said, because of the current system that's in place. One advancement of this would be, say, the Z1 car that came out back in the 90s, or even the electric car overall. That's been talked about for hundreds and hundreds of years, but yet it's not fully come out yet. Partially, there's no market really at this point for it, or because certain people in the industry, the oil industry, or whatever it is, they didn't want any part of that. So what do? That was it. Took care of it. We even had the ability to make 75, 80, 100 MPG cars. We didn't have the ability to do that. And, let me see here. Another way that we usually tend to suppress a lot of things is through planned obsolescence, and through the basic, like, how do I put it, like a bit of an illusion of progress in a way. Back in the 80s and into the 90s and even into the 2000s, we had a lot of different advances coming out through Windows and Mac and all that other stuff. When we came out of, we used to use MS-DOS for a lot of things, and now we have the ability to, use a start button, or, a lot of things have been made very easily and readily available to us over the years. But in the 90s, we had a somewhat, like, stagnant time, if you think about it. We got to Windows 3.1, then to 95, and then after that, we had 98, NT, 4.0 and Workshop, and 2000 and ME before we got to XP. Why is that? Mostly because, like I said, because of profit. They want to make a buck off of every single last little bit of the, advances that are made, whether big or small. And like I said, if it's too big for certain things, like what happened with Tesla, he came up with free energy, and he came up with a lot of the technology that we come up with. Without this, a lot of the stuff that we're using right now to film me, the live stream, wouldn't be here without him. So that's one of the big things. And we've even seen this in the medical field. We've seen this with Johnson & Johnson. We have medication to help out people in the third world that are severely affected by AIDS in Africa, South America, and all over the place. But they want to protect the patent rights to their, medications and all that other stuff. And we even talked about at the F-29 shut down the corporations when I was in New Brunswick. We asked them, could they open up a patent pool, and all that other stuff. And they've been very reluctant to do it so far, but, I think through a lot of these other things, maybe they'll open up to it as a stepping stone for us to get into the transition or whatever. But not just Johnson & Johnson, but we've seen this with Dr. Brzezinski. He came up with a great cure called neuroplastons. Anybody hear of those at all? Dr. Brzezinski, basically he came from Austria, and he's been studying medicine for a long time, and with the neuroplastons he was able to get rid of the whole chemo therapy way of trying to help cure brain cancer, advanced forms of it in kids aged 2 to 6 and older than that, like up to 10 or whatever. But at the same time, that came with a lot of consequences. He got chased around by the Board of Public Health for Texas, and the US FDA went after him, and a lot of these other organizations that didn't want to see them, you know, their business or whatever go under. They went after him. And we even saw this way back when what's his name, Dr. Gerson came up with the vegan diet, the umbrella cure for cancer, and look what happened to him. He's gotten chastised and a lot of other things. He's gotten very, you know, beat down by the same medical industry, you know, by the powers that be or whatever. Hold on a second. Sorry. Distracted.
Is now a bad time? I should.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Sorry, guys. Just a couple of texts. Always that, you know, thing busting in. Well, we even have right here. We still have a lot of these, you know, same things coming up. My dad worked with GPS technology when he was working on the AT&T ships back in the 70s. You know, I don't know if we could have made it, you know, from a big kind of a GPS system to something that fits in our car, but at the same time, you got to just think, we had computers and all that other stuff back in the 80s and into the 90s, and it took how long to get to, you know, having a little GPS thing in your car like we have today? Same thing. And, you know, Oliver also, he's another guy in the Zeitgeist Movement New York chapter. He talked to me about how he was in the Army, and they had computers that could self-correct themselves whenever some big glitch came into the system. You know, and yet we have to download all the virus programs and all that other stuff to try and, you know, fix all the different problems that we could easily have fixed or whatever. But, you know, why are we not doing that? Same reason that I've been given earlier. But this time, we have the reason, you know, we have the technology to really, I think, further advance ourselves across the curve than I think at any point in our history. And at this point, what you're dealing with when you try to contain the development of technology, I think a lot of it is also dealing with entropy in a lot of cases. It's very emergent, like what we're advocating right here, a resource-based economy. It's a very emergent kind of society. And I think that, you know, with in some cases, like with all due time, I think we're going to see a bigger and bigger movement, like what you're seeing kind of with the Occupy movement. A lot of this is very emergent. It's very, you know, popping up all over the place. That's kind of why I've been so active with not just Wall Street, but Trenton and a lot of these other places. So a lot of these things are very conflicting with a lot of the things that we're so used to or whatever. But let me just see. We have the chance right now we have the chance to make ourselves from our destinies, basically, to make ourselves from a self-destructive one to one that enhances the Earth's resources to the fullest. And we also have a lot of the, you know, means to do this and the reason to do this because of what's happening outside. Global warming, we have a very warm winter and ice caps are melting and all that other stuff. And the benefits to this are unbelievable. And we still don't even know what the full, you know, benefits are, I think, as of yet, to where we're truly at technologically, the state of technology. And I think through time, through the movement, through all the stuff that's been coming up, I think eventually we'll be able to fully, you know, work our way out of this and, you know, move further and further ahead, you know. And we could also start to really build a better world for tomorrow rather than just leaving it as an empty slogan.